Hi everyone, welcome back. I am so excited for this video. I had so much fun filming it. Today I wanted to do a side-by-side, get ready with me. So we are going to be doing half of my face with high-end makeup and the other half with Drugstore, using all the products in my makeup collection that I either think are dupes or I've heard other people say are dupes, and we're testing them out side by side. So I did a full face of all those products. Definitely comment below and let me know which side you think is which side do you think is high-end, and which side is Drugstore before you go on with the video. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you'll subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into it. Before we start the makeup, I'm so excited to say that this portion of the video is sponsored by Ana Luisa. If you've never heard of them before, they are a sustainable jewelry company based in New York City. They are actually all carbon neutral, which is amazing, and they create really high quality jewelry pieces for a reasonable price point, which is amazing. I know jewelry can get super expensive depending on where you're buying it from, and they really focus on giving high quality pieces for a more affordable price, which I love. So I want to share a few of the pieces that I'm wearing today. You've probably seen me wear this one in many videos. This is the Ana necklace, and it's just a simple gold. I believe this type of necklace is called serpentine, I want to say. I love this necklace because it looks really classy and minimal, but it just elevates any outfit. Like, you see me wear it all the time, and usually I have it on with just a plain top, and just this little pop of gold just looks great with everything. You can wear it more dressy with a dressier blouse, or you can wear it with a t-shirt, which I do all the time. But I want to share this new earring that I have with you. So it's this one right here. So you can see it's a little paper clip on this end, and then a little diamond stud over here, and it has this cute little chain that hangs down. This is called the Sia link, and as soon as I saw this on the website, I knew I had to have this one because I just love this look. I love the paper clips, but I love when the pieces or the earrings are connected like this. Every time I see somebody with this style of earring in, I always think it looks so cute, and I love this. I think this is so unique and different, and it comes as a single earring, so you could pair it with anything that you want. So that is the Sia link. And then I also have these hoops. So these are called the Alessa hoops. They're kind of like a braided type texture, and I only have one in today, but they obviously come in a set. I just had this earring in as well, so I kind of mixed and matched them, but obviously you could wear them together. And I just love these as well. I love a gold hoop. I've never seen a gold hoop that I don't love. That's just my favorite type of earring of everything, and I love these. They're different, they're pretty small, but they're a little bit on the bold side, so they still show up even though they're on the smaller side, and I just think they're adorable. I love them. I love my gold jewelry. I love Ana Luisa. I mentioned them a few videos back in my gift guide as well. I think jewelry is always a really nice gift to give and get. I personally love to get jewelry for the holidays, so I do have a discount code with Ana Luisa. It's simply.blair20. I will put it up on the screen and in the description box, so make sure to go down there and check out the link. If you're interested in picking up any last minute Christmas gifts, my link is below in the description box, and make sure to use my code simply.blair20. And I did want to thank Ana Luisa for supporting me and partnering with me on this portion of the video. Okay, let's get started. The plan for this video is I'm going to do high end over here, which is my right, and Drugstore on my left. And we're going to start with a priming, prepping type product that I've seen several people say has a dupe, and I have both. I've tried them both, but I've never done them side by side on my face. In fact, none of these things I've ever put on my face side by side, so I can't wait to see how this turns out. But first thing we're gonna do is apply these. So we have the Glow Recipe Niacinamide Dewdrops and the Hello Good Stuff Glow Serum Primer from Essence. So I bought these both pretty recently, and I bought them around the same time because I really wanted to test them and see if they actually are dupes. So we'll start with Glow Recipe. Since we're doing just half my face, I'm only going to use one pump. Now we'll go in with Essence on the other side. So consistency wise, they honestly feel pretty identical. I said in the video where I tried this Essence one, and I still kind of think this. I think the Essence is a little bit less fragranced than the Glow Recipe ones, but there's not a big difference, and the smell is very similar. And even the ingredients on these two products are very similar. Okay, so we have Glow Recipe over here and Essence over here. I want to look up close and see what I think. I mean, look-wise, I have to say they're very similar. I mean, they really are. My skin looks pretty identical in terms of finish on both sides. I do think, just based on how they feel when you apply them, the Glow Recipe is a little bit thicker feeling, a little bit more, almost like an oil serum hybrid kind of feel, whereas the Essence one feels very gel-like, very watery, but the look overall is pretty similar. Next, we're gonna go in with the brows, and we're gonna do Anastasia Brow Freeze, very popular product, and the e.l.f. Brow Lift. I use both of these. I like them. I have just never put them side by side. So we'll go in with Anastasia first with a little spoolie. With these, I do think what most people are wanting to know is not how they look initially, but how well they hold your brows in place. So for these, I'll have to really wear this makeup and see. I do think they're going to give you a very similar look. It's just if one will give more hold than the other. Okay, so there's Anastasia. Now I'm going to take a different spoolie and get some of the e.l.f. Okay, so look-wise, definitely dupes. I want to wear these and see about the hold on them. I want to say I feel like the hold on the e.l.f. is not as good, but like I said, I've never done this side by side, so we will see. Okay, next for corrector, I've actually had people ask me about these two, and I want to test Bobbi Brown corrector to the Pixie corrector. Now, if you know me, you know I love this one. It's been a favorite for a very long time, and I don't reach for the Pixie that often, to be totally honest. We're gonna do Bobbi Brown first. And I'm gonna put it over here. And I'm gonna use this same brush for both. I'll just flip it to the clean side for the Pixie. And I like to let my correctors sit before I blend them in. So I'm just gonna go right ahead and flip over and go in with the Pixie. We'll start blending Bobbi Brown on this side, and then just gonna flip the brush over and tap the Pixie in. So what I will say about the consistency of these is that is very similar. So again, we have Bobbi Brown over here and Pixie over here. Okay, right now they're looking pretty similar. Okay, hold on. Yeah, you guys, they look more similar than I was thinking. I'm not gonna lie. I even feel the colors are more similar in these two shades than what I remember in my head. But again, I feel like it helps to see them side by side. And I don't think I said, but I wear the shade Bisque in Bobbi Brown. And this Pixie is Brightening Peach. Interesting. Okay, I might be eating my words on this one, but we'll wait until the end. But this, I mean, you guys tell me what you think in the comments. So Bobbi Brown is over here and Pixie is over here. All right, for foundation, there were a few choices I was thinking about for this video, but one that I consistently hear people call a dupe for each other is these two. So Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk and L'Oreal Tinted Hydrator. Tinted, I always forget the name, True Match Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. So I've used both of these a bunch. I definitely wouldn't call them dupes just from what I'm thinking, but we will test it out. Okay, I also think the colors are probably not going to be the same, but it's okay. So this is Giorgio Armani in number 5. All right, so I'm going to do Giorgio Armani on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and use what I pumped out on my hand. And actually number 5 is a pretty spot on match for me right now. I would say Giorgio Armani, solid, well, I was gonna say solid medium. I sometimes feel like it's hard to even get a medium coverage out of this. I think it's because a lot of this product does not go a long way. I find to get coverage, you have to use quite a bit. All right, let's do L'Oreal on the other side. L'Oreal, why do we need this? Okay, yeah, so L'Oreal is definitely gonna be a little bit darker. Also, these brushes I'm using are clean, so I'm switching brushes each time, so they're not getting an advantage with a brush that's being used. Okay, yeah, so you can see L'Oreal is definitely darker. Armani Luminous Silk over here, and L'Oreal over here. I feel like the L'Oreal is a little bit dewier looking than Luminous Silk. And I've always kind of thought that about Luminous Silk. I thought it was interesting that it's called a luminous foundation because I don't see it as a super luminous foundation. I mean, it's definitely not like a matte foundation, but I feel, I just don't think of it in terms of like dewy, glowy foundations. But I gotta say, this looks more like a dupe than I thought. Looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. For concealer, concealer was tricky. I've seen a lot of people say the NYX Serum Concealer, the Bear With Me Serum Concealer, and the Kosas Concealer are dupes. Absolutely not. The formula is not even remotely similar on those two. So yeah, I'm gonna go with one that I just thought of on my own, and we're gonna test them out. But I wanna see how these two compare. So I have the LYS Triple Fix Concealer and the Neutrogena Radiant Creamy Concealer. Now, I know that this one, a lot of people were initially saying was a dupe for NARS Radiant Creamy. No, I mean, no. The formula is totally different. That one is a much more liquidy formula. NARS is more of like a whipped formula. Yeah, those are not dupes in my opinion. But these two, in terms of texture, kind of remind me of each other. And this one, I know they say it's full coverage. I totally disagree. I do not think this is a full coverage concealer. I also don't think the Neutrogena is full coverage. So let's test this out. So we've got LYS on this side, and I have LN6 in this one. So I'm gonna put that there, and then we'll put Neutrogena on the other side. And this is the shade Bisque. And I know these colors, again, are not gonna be identical, but it's okay. Clean brush again. So we're gonna do the Sigma F03 on this side. So this is the LYS Triple Fix Concealer. I actually haven't used this concealer in a while, so I'm excited to use it again. I remember I definitely like it. It's just not like a top favorite for me. I remember when it came out and I tried it, I liked it. Okay. So there we have it. Pretty good color for me right now. All right, and then I'm gonna switch to the BK Beauty 110. And this is also clean. So LYS and Neutrogena. I feel like LYS gives more coverage than Neutrogena, just looking at them. The finish on my under eyes looks pretty similar. Not bad, but I don't know about a dupe there. Okay, moving on to powder. I'm gonna powder my face because we're gonna use powder bronzer and powder blush today. So these are two, I don't know that anyone has called these dupes. I just kind of am curious and want to test them out. So we have Kosas Cloud Set, one of my all-time favorites, and then the Sephora Micro Smooth on this side. I mainly want to test these because they're both baked powders. This one I've had for a long time. This one is newer to me. Since I'm going to set my whole face, I'm just going to use a fluffy brush, and we'll go in with shade Breezy and just lightly set my face. That Kosas powder, so good. Every time I use that, I'm always just like blown away. But let's do Sephora on the other side. I know this one is not super inexpensive, but it is less than the Kosas powder. Again, I'm switching brushes. These look very similar, you guys. Very similar. I'm mainly looking like right here in this area because usually that's where I see the biggest difference in powders. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, they look pretty freaking similar. Neither of them look powdery on my face, like I've just caked powder all over, which I can't stand. One of my favorite things I've always loved about the Kosas powder is it manages to set your face down, but it doesn't take away all the glow from your face and look like just a flat, dry, matte surface. Somehow it sets, but you get a little bit of that glow still intact. And I feel like the same is true with that Sephora. We might be onto something with this. For bronzer, I don't know if anyone has called these two products a dupe. I'm pretty sure I mentioned in a video that the dupe reminded me of this high-end version, but I want to test these two. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer and the L'Oreal Infallible Bronzer. I want to say earlier this year when I got this, I said in that video, it was a Walmart video, I want to say I said I thought this was maybe a dupe for this, but I could be totally wrong. I don't know. I have this shade medium in Charlotte Tilbury, and I have light medium in L'Oreal. So we're gonna use the BK Beauty 111 with the Charlotte bronzer. Even the formula on these two remind me of each other, like just dipping my brush into that Charlotte bronzer. It's very powdery, it has a lot of kickback, and so does the L'Oreal bronzer in the pan. All right, so we'll start with Charlotte Tilbury. I do think I'm kind of coming around to matte skin a little bit. Not that I love like a super full coverage, like flat matte, but I don't know, more matte products are not like scaring me away like I would say they did at one time. So we got Charlotte Tilbury over here, and I'm going to use the same brush with L'Oreal because I really love this brush for powder bronzer, and I don't want the brush to change how I feel about how it applies. So let's go in with the L'Oreal on this side. Now I don't know that the colors are going to be 100% identical, but they're pretty close. Pretty similar. This L'Oreal one on this side, I feel like got a little bit patchy, but I don't know. It's not patchy on my cheek. I actually feel like the color on these is more similar than I was thinking. But okay, so we have Charlotte over here, L'Oreal over here. This is a good comparison here, you guys. I mean, look-wise, these two look almost identical. I think if I had to say a huge difference, or not a huge difference, but if I had to say a difference between the two, I think application is a little bit easier with the Charlotte Tilbury. I do feel like the L'Oreal got like a tiny bit patchy right here in this area, but it doesn't really look patchy on my cheeks, so I don't know what that's about. It could be my hairline, I've mentioned before, is kind of finicky. Products don't tend to want to go there. But these two are very similar. I am going to move on to blush, and oh my gosh, this I'm so excited about. I've always wanted to put these two next to each other. I've just never done it. We have these. So the very popular Dior Rosy Glow blush in the pink, and the Flower Beauty blush in the shade Wild Rose. Now, I think this was going around for a while as a dupe. A bunch of things have claimed to be dupes for this. And y'all know me, I love a good light pink blush. So I'm very, very excited to maybe find a dupe. Now we'll do Flower Beauty, and I'm gonna switch brushes to the Flower Beauty blush brush. Now I wanna say, yeah, so the formula on this, you see how much kickback you get? I wanna say this one is much more pigmented. So I'm gonna try to be a little more careful with this one. Flower Beauty, Dior. Okay, those look almost identical. Definitely did not have to build the flower one like I did with the Dior one. The tone of it though is pretty spot on between these two. I was gonna say the formula on this is a little easier to apply just because with all the kickback in the Flower Beauty, sometimes that can get a little out of hand with blushes, but honestly, both of them were pretty easy. So I don't even know that I would say that. Pretty similar, you guys. Okay, here's one that I've been dying to test side by side, and it's these two. So the famous Givenchy Prisme Libre powder and the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. Both of these are in the pinky shade. So this is number 3, and this, I think this is just called light pink from e.l.f., but I've always wanted to see these side by side. I'm thinking this one is not so much for blurring like this one is, but I've been wrong quite a bit in this video, so I could definitely be wrong with this as well. All right, so same thing. I have only tried this e.l.f. powder, I want to say like once, maybe twice, and I don't think I used it in a video. All right, I'm going to use the same brush because I want to use the same size on both eyes. Givenchy is here, e.l.f. is here. I definitely think Givenchy wins on this side. I feel like this side just looks overall more smooth. I definitely don't see much blurring on the e.l.f. side, but I don't think that powder claims to be blurring. I'll have to look into it and see. But yeah, I would say, I mean, I don't think they look like ridiculously different, but I do think the right side just looks better. My under eyes look better overall. So not great on that one. Let's move on to the brows. So I've always wanted to test these two side by side. So we have Anastasia Brow Wiz and Micro Brow from NYX. Now, I used to use Anastasia. Before I started YouTube, I would use this brow pencil, and I haven't bought one in a few years. This is the shade Soft Brown, and I know for years and years I've always heard this was a dupe, and using them separately, I can definitely see where that's coming from. So let's do Anastasia on this side in soft brown. Even the look of these two pencils, just when you look at them side by side, I mean, they look identical. As we've seen from my recent videos, I have fallen in love with a few different eye pencils from the drugstore in the last few weeks, and they are even cheaper. Yeah, these Anastasia brows over here are not moving. Like, I can barely even get my spoolie through there. Yeah, I remember Ulta used to, I think they still do it, they used to always put the Anastasia Brow Wiz on the 21 Days of Beauty, and I would always buy it when they did that. These, as I expected, they absolutely remind me of each other. I mean, I think the NYX, and it could be because that pencil is older than this one, I think the NYX is possibly a little bit waxier. This one from Anastasia is just like a hair creamier, but I mean, they're the same. I'm just gonna say it. They're the same. Okay, for eyeshadow, I don't have a ton of drugstore eyeshadow, but I do have something that came to mind immediately when I was thinking of a look I could create on both eyes with a high-end and a drugstore brand. And the high-end side is this. This is the Clinique, gosh, All About Shadow Quad, and this is the shade Teddy Bear. I bought this a while ago for my Clinique video. Looks like this. This reminded me immediately of this, the e.l.f. Bite Size in I Love You a Latte. I mean, look at these two. Almost identical, all matte, 4 shades. I feel like I can create the exact same look with these. So we're gonna test it, and then over the top, I wanna test these. So we have Urban Decay, Space Cowboy, the Moon Dust Shadow, and ColourPop Ritz in the Super Shock Shadow. We will go in with the Clinique palette first. Okay, so I'm first gonna go into the cream, the matte cream in here. I'm gonna take a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna put this all over. I feel like I'm not even getting very much color from that shade. This is a cute little palette. I mean, it's nothing like earth-shattering, but I bought it for that Clinique video and I like the colors, so I've held on to it. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Now I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. palette. I'm gonna go in with the matte beigey color in here. This one is more of a beige, I feel like, whereas the Clinique one is a little more of a white, like a creamy white color. Okay, yeah, so do you see this? Already, I'm getting more color payoff from this little e.l.f. quad with one tap. So this color here and this color are pretty similar, but the other two browns are not that similar to each other. Okay, I'm just gonna take a little bit of both of these, this light color and then this other brown. I'm just gonna take like one tap of each and apply these as my crease color. And then I guess I'll do the same on the e.l.f. eye. I'm gonna mix these two browns. So like one tap of each and apply these in the crease. All right, now we're gonna take the dark brown in the Clinique palette. So one color difference that I'm noticing just looking is, let me flip. So the brown in the e.l.f. palette is more, it's deeper and more cool toned. This one is more of like a reddish, chocolatey brown. So the tone is definitely not identical, but I think it's gonna look pretty close on the eye. So I'm gonna go into the Clinique palette first, and I'm gonna apply a little bit of this just to this very outer corner. yeah, this color is pretty. It's just a little bit lighter and a little bit warmer. And then we'll go in with the e.l.f. with the dark brown. Very similar, very, very similar. All right, let's do the sparkle now. So we'll do Urban Decay Space Cowboy with my finger. And I'm just gonna tap this in the center. Okay. And then we'll do Ritz on the other eye. So we got Clinique and Urban Decay over here, e.l.f. and ColourPop over here. I mean, those shimmery shades, very, very close. I mean, in the pan, I feel like they look a little bit different, but on the eyes, I feel like they're both a silvery, sparkly color. They both almost have like a hint of blue to it, like a silvery blue almost. But I feel like, I mean, those are pretty freaking identical. So is the eyeshadow, other than this one is warmer. The Clinique is warmer than the e.l.f. But overall, they look pretty freaking similar, you guys. Pretty similar. Next, we are gonna do eyeliner, and these are the only two liquid liners I own to really test. So we're gonna do these. If you saw one of my recent videos, I tried to use the Maybelline because I loved it initially. I was having trouble getting the product out, so I ended up having to finish my eyes with the one size. But I like the Maybelline better in terms of the point. This one is a little bit larger, a little bit more difficult to use, but I feel like we should get the same look with these two. So we will start with one size over here. I'm definitely not going to talk much as I'm doing this because this takes extreme concentration. One size is done. Now let's move on to Maybelline. Hopefully it works. All right, you guys, that was rough. The Maybelline was doing the same thing. It was skipping. I couldn't even finish this eye with it. I could not get the product out. So what I did was I finished the wing with the e.l.f. dark brown shadow, so I could at least finish it. So yeah, I think if the Maybelline worked correctly, I definitely would get the exact same effect here. But one of you told me I need to store this liner downwards in like a cup, so I have it now in my brush cup. I wish I had thought of that yesterday and I would have done that overnight. But anyway, hopefully maybe that will fix the Maybelline problem. I don't know, but I did the best I could to fix it. So the two mascaras we're gonna test are these two. So Roller Lash and Lash Sensational. Roller Lash is, I think this is the first mascara I tried that was high-end when I was first starting to get into makeup, and I love it. I still love it to this day. I don't always use it because I do think you can find really great drugstore mascaras, but I do love this one. But I did just order the new e.l.f. mascara, the Lash and Roll, I think is what it's called, and it's supposed to look just like this, but I don't have it yet, so that's why I'm not using it in this video, but sneak peek, that'll be coming soon. So let's do Roller Lash on this eye. So there's Roller Lash, very lengthening, such a good mascara. Okay, but Lash Sensational is also very good, and the wand is very similar. It's a rubber wand, it's curved. I think this one's a bit shorter than the Roller Lash, but they're pretty similar. There we have it. So Roller Lash over here, Maybelline over here. This side I feel like looks a little bit longer, but the lashes right now on my right eye are better than my lashes on my left eye, so I feel like I need to disclaim that. You know how your lashes sometimes, or a lot of the times, they're obviously not on the same growth cycle, so one of them is usually at a different or a better stage than the other. Right now my right eye is better than my left eye, so I did want to mention that. But the look overall very similar. All right, last for the lips, I went through my whole lip collection trying to find something I thought was possibly a dupe, and this is the best that I could come up with. I have not heard any of these things being called dupes, but I'm just gonna test them out. So for the high end, we have Wherever Walnut from Makeup Forever, super popular. And then I thought it was similar to NYX in the shade Natural. So I'll go ahead and swatch them for you side by side. I don't think they're identical, but I do think the formulas are similar on these. Yeah, they're not identical. So this is Wherever Walnut and this is Natural. So Wherever Walnut. And then NYX in the shade Natural. Okay, on the lips, to me, they look very similar. I mean, what do you guys think? I feel like in the swatches, you could definitely see the difference a bit more. Right here, they're looking pretty similar. Okay, the last lip product are these two. So we have Makeup by Mario MoistureGlow, which, you know, if you watch my videos, I've been talking about these since they came out. I'm obsessed with them. I'm not even gonna tell you how many of these I own because it's kind of embarrassing, but I love these. But this one from L'Oreal, this is the Glow Paradise. I think it's called Lipstick in Balm in Nude Heaven, are very close. Again, the shade is not identical. This is Petal Glow from Makeup by Mario. Okay, Petal Glow. And then Nude Heaven. Okay, color-wise, do those not look very similar? When I was swatching them, I didn't think they looked that similar, but on my lips, I feel like they do. I feel like they look very similar. The main thing I'm noticing between the two, the Mario is much shinier. So it's glossier and it does have that little bit of a tingle feeling to it. It's not like a crazy plumping feel or anything. I know they claim to be plumping and they do give a little bit of a tingle, but it's nothing crazy. You don't get that with the L'Oreal. And the L'Oreal is a little bit glossy, but it's not as glossy as the Makeup by Mario. But the color, you guys. Okay, and I think that is everything. So let me kind of gather my thoughts and then we'll go through and I'll tell you what I think about each thing and if I think they are dupes or not. All right, you guys, that is it for this video, but I want to go through everything quickly. So one more time, we have high end over here, drugstore over here. High end, drugstore. I have to say, I thought this video was going to come out well, but this is much better than I even thought. I mean, I have to say, I thought some of these things were not going to be dupes, and now I'm starting to think that they are. But let's go through them one by one. We'll start, I'll just kind of go in order of how we applied them. So first, Essence and Glow Recipe. I'm thinking how I'm going to rank these is I'm going to say they're dupes, they're similar, or they're not at all. So dupe, similar, or they really don't resemble each other, okay? For these, I'm gonna say similar solely because I don't think you get quite the same feel from this that you get from this. This feels like a very luxurious serum type product. This is similar. So you do get the glow, you get the overall same effect, but I don't think they're identical enough to call them dupes. I just don't. I feel they're just a little bit different, but similar. So if you like the look of this, but you don't want to spend the money, I think you're going to get a very similar effect with this. But I wouldn't say they're dupes. Brow products. So we have e.l.f. Brow Lift, Anastasia, what is this called? Oh my gosh, Brow Freeze. I want to say these are dupes. The only thing is, I know just from how my brows feel, the Anastasia side just has more grip. So if you're worried about your brows not staying in place all day, I don't know that you're going to get the hold that you need from this. The look though, obviously is identical. I mean, my brows don't look like I used two different products, but because of the hold difference, and I'm noticing it just already, right now they look fine. The e.l.f. side though is it's just not as in place as the Anastasia side. I can just tell that by feeling them when I try to brush through them, but very similar. So for these, I'm gonna go similar. Okay, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I think these are dupes. I do. I didn't think it initially when I started this video. I thought, I don't think those are gonna be dupes, but when I saw them side by side with no concealer over the top, the color, the finish, the coverage, I think these are dupes, you guys. The only thing is you have to know that this only comes in one shade. This comes in a bunch of shades. So Bobbi Brown is gonna win in terms of the shade range every time. But if this shade happens to work for you, I actually do think it's a dupe for this one. Next, Armani and L'Oreal. I think these are similar. I don't think they're dupes. I see why people are saying that they are. They are definitely similar, but I do think the L'Oreal is glowier. I don't get a ton of glow from this product. It looked a little glowy today, but you gotta remember I had the dewdrops on underneath it as well, and it still wasn't super luminous looking to me. This one was pretty glowy to me. So I think these are similar. They're pretty, but I don't think they're dupes. I think they're similar. Okay, for the concealers, I'm gonna say these are not similar. I didn't know that they would be. I just thought I would compare them because I own both. This one gives more coverage. It's a little more liquidy, I would say. This one is also liquidy, but it gives less coverage. You definitely don't get as much coverage from this as you do from this. And overall, even before I powdered, I think this one even looked better under my eyes than this one, and it gave more coverage. So these two I would say are not similar, not dupes. Okay, powders. You guys, I think these are dupes. I do. I can't believe I'm saying that, but what I said earlier is true. The thing I love about this is it sets your makeup, but you get to keep some of the glow. It doesn't totally mattify your face. It blurs. I feel like this did the same thing. I know this is not drugstore, but it is a little less expensive than the Kosas. So that's why I wanted to pair these two together, but believe it or not, I think these are dupes. Bronzer, you guys, these are dupes. I think these are dupes. I really, really do. I think the look, the application, the L'Oreal did get a little bit patchy up here, but I'm thinking I didn't set up there super well, and I'm betting that's probably what it's from because I didn't have that issue on my cheeks. And I'm telling you, these two, if it were me and I had to pick one or the other, I would go L'Oreal. Honestly, this is nice. I love Charlotte Tilbury. If you know me, you know I do. This is just as good. Just as good. They look identical. They're both matte. I think these are dupes. Blush, you guys, I am so happy to tell you, I also think these are dupes. I can't believe I'm saying that because this, I know this is such a highly sought after product and I love it. It's beautiful, but this is also beautiful. I mean, look at the difference. Dior, Flower. I feel like these are identical. I really do. And you get more color payoff, I feel like, with Flower. So yeah, dupes, you guys. I can't believe it, but yeah. These, I'm going to say these are not similar. The Givenchy powder, this is definitely a blurring powder. That's what they kind of market it as, and I do think it does what they say. It's pink, which is similar to this, but this is more of a glowy kind of finishing powder. I don't really get much set or much blur from this. so I would not say these are similar or dupes. I can't believe I'm saying this, to be honest, but I actually think the eyes are dupes as well. The only difference that really sticks out is the tone of the two browns, but that's just a color difference. I think the sparkles look the same. The eye look overall looks the same. Yeah, this, I would go this way 100 times before I would do this if I was trying to choose. I do love Space Cowboy from Urban Decay, but this Clinique palette, you can get the same exact thing for $4. $4, and this one is like 20? Maybe more than that, actually. Probably closer to 30. So yeah, I would say definite dupes here. This is hard. This is hard. I feel that these are similar. I want to say they're dupes, but I feel like they're more similar. I'm very curious to try the new e.l.f. one, so that'll be coming soon. But I think they're definitely very similar. I do think the roller lash gives more length and a little more separation. I think this one gives a bit more volume. So I don't know that they're identical, but I think they're very similar. Okay, I'm gonna say these two are dupes, the lip liners. The color may not be 100% spot on, but I'm telling you, these are both wooden pencils. They're, flip them around. So this is Wherever Walnut, this is Natural. These are dupes to me. I mean, the formula, the color is maybe not the same, but very similar. I would 100% go for the NYX lip liners. They're wonderful. So I'm gonna say these are dupes. And then where is it? Okay, this and this. I'm gonna say these are similar just because the color is similar, but the formula is definitely a little bit different. This one, the Mario, is definitely, like I said earlier, more of a glossy, shiny product, and it does have that tingly, kind of minty feeling. You don't get either of those things from this, but the color is very, very similar. So again, you could get a very similar look with this than you do with this. And I think this is about half the price of this, maybe even less. So yeah, I'm gonna say these are similar. I think that is everything. I don't even wanna know how long this video is gonna be because I feel like I've been filming forever. And this is kind of hard to say just looking at them if I think they're dupes, but I think we found a lot of really good things here. And even the things that I said are similar and not dupes, I still think they're good. I feel like overall, my makeup looks really good on both sides. I don't think one side, looks like, oh, she has high-end makeup over there and Drugstore on the other side. I don't think you would ever look at my face and think that. So I am very happy with this video, and this was super fun. So I hope you enjoyed. I think that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out Ana Luisa below in my description box. I will have the link and my discount code there as well. If you need to pick up any last-minute Christmas gifts, definitely check that out there. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Remember, simply be you.